Hello, good evening. Welcome to Business Live. Coming up, a major fuel crisis by Friday if government fails to act on the request by fuel tanker drivers for it to fix bad roads. We hear from Vice President of the LPG Marketers Association.
Know if you can appreciate the magnitude of the problem that we are facing. But if this thing is not solved by tomorrow and we enter into Friday, there will be Saturday, there will be Sunday. We will have a serious crisis on hand by the weekend.
Also coming up, Deputy Minister of Trade Dr. Stephen Amwa expresses worry about the consistent hikes in the policy rate impeding the growth of industry.
A lot of the companies in our countries cannot grow organically because there is inadequate of funds. And even the Russian funds that they will get from the banks will always have double-digit interest rate. What it means is that the companies cannot expand enough to employ the labor force.
And tonight on the Joy Business Van, we discover how travel agency Dancy Travels broke into the travel market despite initial setbacks.
Some few agents there, asking them to give me a package, and they had nothing. You understand? So you go to the office and you tell them you want to maybe go to Zanzibar or Dubai for a holiday, and they are like, okay, we can sell you a ticket, but I need more than a ticket.
More of these stories and others coming up on Business Live. Do stay tuned. And thanks for staying with us, everyone. I will begin with a story we are following keenly for you. And Vice President of the LPG Marketers Association, Gabriel Kumi, has warned there will be a major fuel crisis by Friday if government fails to act upon the request by fuel tanker drivers for it to fix bad roads. The drivers have been on strike since Monday, demanding that the government fixes the roads. And there are already fears of fuel shortage now. The oil marketing companies are raising alarm. More than 4,000 outlets across the country are running out of fuel. The situation is no better at LPG stations across the country. Well, let's hear from Mr. Kumi, who spoke earlier on the marketplace.
The clock is ticking. Look, the stocks at the stations are running out. I don't know if you can appreciate the magnitude of the problem that we are facing. But if this thing is not solved by tomorrow and we enter into Friday, there will be Saturday, there will be Sunday. We will have a serious crisis on hand by the weekend.
Just 30 seconds. What would you tell the government? What quick steps should they take right now?
Government should order all contrasted. I know government can marshal resources if they want to. We saw what they have been able to do at Asinov. It's remarkable. And we think if they divert half of that attention, half of those resources towards fixing this road, towards fixing roads that give government enormous amount of money in terms of taxes. We need government can do that, and we want government to do that immediately. It's not about we are going to meet the drivers, we are going to dialogue. They are taking nothing apart from fixing the roads. Our stocks are running out, and somebody must listen to us. We have to fix this problem immediately. Our economy is not doing too well. We don't want this to come and add and deepen the woes of our economy. Please, government, fix this problem ASAP, immediately.
Gabriel Kumi, the Vice President of the LPG Marketers Association of Ghana. Now, Deputy Minister of Trade and Industry, Dr. Stephen Amwa, has expressed worry about the consistent increase in the policy rate by the Bank of Ghana, saying it is impeding the growth of trade and industry because businesses have to borrow at higher interest rates. He's urging the Bank of Ghana to reconsider its inflation targeting framework. He spoke at the second Financial Economics Seminar held in Accra.
This year's Financial Economic Seminar, organized by the Financial Economic Institute Africa, focused on the impact of socio-economic policies on trade and industries in Ghana and developing countries. Ghana's industrial sector has been impacted by current economic challenges, shrinking by 3.2% in its contribution to economic growth in the first quarter of this year. The country continues to depend on imports to the detriment of local industries. Speakers at the seminar urged the government to create an enabling environment for the private sector to expand. Delivering his remarks, Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry, Dr. Stephen Amoah, advised the Bank of Ghana to control its policy rate to cushion businesses.
When policy rate was around 12.5, interest rate was 15.7, we started increasing interest rate. I mean, we call it inflationary rate target monetary policy. And it went as far as policy rate went to almost 30%, and inflation went to about over 40%. So it wasn't addressing it. So when we are trying to deal with some of these issues, that governments and other policymakers and decision-making bodies such as Central Bank of Ghana, although to me they are doing so much well, they should sometimes they shouldn't depend so much on the global application of some of these models, but we should do specifics, because it's very important that tailor-made application of policies rather bring the expected results of a society or specific community. A lot of the companies in our countries cannot grow organically because there's inadequate funds. And even the Russian funds that they will get from the banks will always have double-digit interest rate. What it means is that the companies cannot expand enough to employ the labor force. Two, the companies cannot produce enough to meet demand. So we will be forced to import. And once we import, we will demand more dollars, and our currency will be weak.
President of Ghana Union of Traders Association, Dr. Joseph Obeng, urged government to reduce the cost of taxes to improve compliance by businesses.
Our credits are overpriced, and that we are not competitive to the rest of the world. This time we do not do business in isolation. We do business with the rest of the world. So if you are formulating a policy in your country and you do not factor what happens in your neighboring countries, it means that you are out of competition. And this is exactly what I was trying to drum home about, that we have to make taxes affordable. We've talked so many times that tax to GDP in our neighboring countries is far higher than that of Ghana. Why is this so? It's so because their taxes are fewer and then affordable as well. Ours is so many. So because their taxes are affordable, compliance level in those countries that we're talking about are so high that have made the tax to GDPs in these countries far higher than that of Ghana. And so it is very important for authorities to know, sit down with us again, evaluate things, dissect things, and then make cost of doing business very attractive here in this country.
The speakers also called for mutual beneficial policies for the benefit of both private and public sector. The annual Financial Economics Seminar is aimed at finding long-term solutions to most of the finance and economic challenges confronting developing economies, including Ghana.
Now, the Automobile Assemblers Association of Ghana has reiterated its call on the government to ban the sale of used and salvaged vehicles. President of the association, Joseph Opompepra, spoke at the maiden edition of the Ghana Automotive Summit.
The maiden Ghana Automotive Summit gave experts in the industry the opportunity to discuss challenges and opportunities present in the assembling of cars. The summit was held under the theme, Creating a New Economic Backbone for Ghana and the Sub-Region. Delivering his address, President of the Automobile Assemblers Association of Ghana, Jeffrey Opompepra, said, the sale of used and salvaged vehicles in the country is a major challenge hindering the growth of the automotive industry.
There are, however, a few provisions of the GADP still outstanding, and we call on government and ask the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Trade and Industry to assist and accelerate the implementation of these provisions as soon as possible to help and ensure the sustainable growth of our feeding industry. This includes binding of the sale of used cars older than 10 years, as well as stopping the sale of salvage vehicles, and then implementing the provision of the 35% duty on vehicles imported in the same category as those assembled locally.
Minister of Trade and Industry Katie Hammond said government is committed to creating an enabling environment for the industry to thrive.
We recognize the need to make new and affordable vehicles widely available. As the rest of the world is confronted with economic developmental headwinds, Africa must reposition itself in readiness to welcome car manufacturers, to bolster our own supply and boost our prospects for intra-regional trade. Besides Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, and Rwanda are other African countries which are emerging as new automotive manufacturing hubs, in addition, of course, to the traditional hubs of Morocco, South Africa, and Egypt. In order to attract further investment for the development of an integrated automotive industry and to harness the multiplier effect in developing the industry, we in Ghana have developed a components and parts manufacturing policy to enhance our local content and the localization of spare parts for the aftermarket and ultimately component supplies for vehicle assemblies.
Ghana's automotive industry was valued at $4.6 billion in 2021.
Now, to mark the 2023 World Micro, Small and Medium-Sized Businesses Day, the Ghana Enterprises Agency has held a forum to improve partnerships and enhance engagements with MSMEs. There's more in this report.
The United Nations designated June 27th as Micro, Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises Day in 2017 to honor the crucial role played by MSMEs to the contribution of the global economy. In Ghana, over 90% of business enterprises are SMEs, which contribute up to 60% of the country's GDP. To celebrate the day, the Ghana Enterprises Agency held a forum which saw business owners share their success stories and network with other players in the industry to foster partnerships which will boost growth. Speaking at the program, the Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry, Dr. Stephen Amoah, explained the need for business owners to ensure proper managerial practices.
The business money is not your money. Once you understand that, you move. But if the smallest challenge, you go and take money from your business money, you're collapsing the business. You can only spend from your profit. That is where you separate ownership from control. That is, if you have an accountant, you listen to your accountant. If you have a manager, human resource, whatever it is, you need to make sure that you are entirely different from the business you have set up yourself. That the business can grow out of well-defined systems. But if you think it's your business and even your capital, you dip your hand into it, withdraw money from your capital, you're collapsing the business.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Enterprises Agency, Kosi Yankee Aye, said her outfit is committed to supporting the growth of Ghana's MSME sector to achieve the vision of creating 1 million jobs.
We have equipped MSMEs with the right tools that have put them on a trajectory of growth, and we will continue to do so to help them succeed in the long term. That is our promise on this day. And we need to make this promise, and we need to do more. Yes, we have done a lot, but more must be done. So we will not rest. Because in order to build a resilient and a sustainable MSME, and to create that 1 million jobs that the government has pushed us to do, we need to work with you, and we need to create the opportunity for you to succeed.
Some of the business owners who spoke to Joy Business commended the Ghana Enterprises Agency for their support.
From the past 4 years, I've benefited so much from Ghana Enterprises Agency, most especially like the training We first had JICA through Ghana Enterprises Agency, and they took us through the 5S, how we can organize our facility in case we have export or other companies they wanted to visit us. They will see that our facility is in place that can also meet the ISO standard.
Running a business is not always the money, the money that you need, but how you manage it through bookkeeping, through consistent quality, through standardization, digitalization, supply chain, how you even relate to even your suppliers, how to even communicate to your customers. Now I can boast and say that a lot of my customers, they are like, we are friends or family.
With the MSME sector forming about 80% of the country's employment base, the Ghana Enterprises Agency promises to deliver on its mandate of empowering small and medium businesses to upskill and create over 1 million jobs.
All right, and that's Business Live tonight. Thanks for watching, everyone. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. Our top story there, empower African SMEs for a stronger future on World SME Day. You can read more about that, plus other stories making headlines, including there won't be any shutdown of power plants after IPP's deadline, government source. We continue to watch that for you because we know the IPPs have said that they would turn off power supply to the national grid by the 1st of July. That's Business Live. Thanks for watching. My name is Darryl Kwao. Enjoy the rest of the holiday.